Okay folks, welcome to a video on sine rule. Today is date 19th of 11 2013. The sine rule is to do with a non-right angle triangle which has been labelled here as A for the angle, B for the angle here and C for the angle here. Now the opposite length is called little a, which is the corresponding length for A. Opposite angle B is the side called little b, which is used to show us the length. And opposite the big C for the angle, we have the little c, which is a label for the length, the length of this side here. Okay. Now the sine rule is, this is the traditional format of the sine rule. You have A over sine A, so the length A over the sine of the angle A is equal to the length B over the sine of the angle B, equal to C over divided by the length of divided by the sine of C. So here these are ratios. Now at any one time we will not be using more than two of these. So if this three parts is for completeness, but when we do our question we only need to be using two. Now so let's have a look at one of these questions. Okay, now here's our example number 1. We need to work out this length here, x. Okay, and we've been given its corresponding angle, and we know another angle, and we know its side. So the rule I'm going to use over here, so if you look at this table here, we know an angle and we know its corresponding side over here is 5. So I'm going to use color codes. I'm going to circle this one and I'm going to circle that. I'm going to join them together as though they were dumbbells. Okay, so that's 5. We know both these two pieces of information, so we know it and we know it. So this actual system uses 3 ticks and across. So here's the first 2 ticks. Now I'm going to relabel my diagram. I'm going to call the side A. I'm going to call the length that we know little a. I'm going to call this next angle B, and the x that we're looking for as little b. So I'm relabeling it, and as I mentioned before, we'll only be using like 2 of these 3 identities. Okay, so let's look at this part of the table. So first of all, we said we know an angle and its corresponding side represented in orange and orange. We need to know, what do we need to know? We need to know this side, so you got a cross there, after knowing its angle. So here now we have an incomplete set of data. So we know this part here and this part here we don't know. Okay, so we have here 2 solid orange and a solid green and a dotted green over here joined up. So let's try to see if we can work this out now. So let's write down A over sine of A is equal to B over sine of big B. So our little a is 5 and our big A is 25. So we say A divided by the sine of 25 is equal to our little b, which is the x that we're trying to work out, divided by the sine of big B, which is 57 in here. So if you look over here, this is a good situation for us to be in. Now we've missed out the 5 here. Okay, let's quickly put that back in. Should be 5 there. There you go, it's better. So we know this length, we know the angle, we know the bottom, we know the other angle. We only don't know this length over here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do this technique called cross multiplying. I want to make x the subject. X has been divided by sine of 57. So I'm going to grab it. Opposite divided by sine 57 is 2 times this part. So now we get sine 57 times by 5 divided by sine of 25, and that will give us the x that we're looking for in the question. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to grab our scientific calculators. Okay, let's grab our scientific calculators. Right, okay. Okay, here comes the calculator. Right. So we do sine 57 times by 5. Sine 57 times that by 5. And then we're going to divide it by the sine of 25, close the brackets, equals, so that gives us 9.922. Okay, so now we need to round off to a reasonable degree of accuracy, so we're going to do that to one decimal place. Okay, thank you very much for joining us on this sine rule question where we have to work out a side. In the next question we'll be working out an angle. Okay, thank you very much.